Hi everyone, merhaba, this is Ayşenur Altan. Think about intensely flavored, melt-in-the-mouth cookies that stay fresh for a long time. These almond cookies have a different technique to give a deeper taste. And I'm sure it will be one of your favorite cookie recipes. So let's get started. I have 200 grams butter at room temperature, half cup powdered sugar and more for coating, 1 egg, third of a cup vegetable oil, 3 cups all-purpose flour, 1 cup almonds, and 1 teaspoon each vanilla and baking powder. The biggest difference that makes this cookie so special is roasting the flour first. It gives a intense flavor, nutty taste coming from flour, and you need to roast the flour for about 15 minutes on low medium heat, stirring frequently so it doesn't burn. And while I'm roasting the flour, I coarsely chop my almonds. These are unsalted raw almonds, and we need to roast them too. And what you can do is, after partially roasting the flour, you can add the almonds if you like and continue to roast them together, or you can roast them separately, which what I did, so you will be able to have more control on how much you need to roast the flour and the almonds, because it can change. My flour is ready. I need to cool it down, so I transfer it to a wider pan, and now going to roast the almonds. Traditionally, the almond pieces are very coarse, not very thin, but it's okay if you want to make it smaller. And here they are. I roasted about 10 minutes. Make sure the nutty taste comes from the almonds. And we are ready to make the cookie dough. I'm going to use my stand mixer, but you can do it easily by hand too. First, I'm gonna mix the butter at room temperature with the powdered sugar. If you mix it to have a creamy texture, it will be lighter, but usually in this recipe the classic way is not to whisk it too much. Actually, it doesn't have too much air in it. So after whisking about 30 seconds, I added the vegetable oil, and about 30 seconds later 1 egg. And I'm ready to add my flour. Since we roasted the flour, usually it gets clumpy, so it is always better to sift it for silky texture. When you watch it, you might think that it's too much steps to make a cookie, but it really makes a difference when you roast the flour. So if you decided to make the cookies, don't skip it. Otherwise, it will be just a regular shortbread cookies. So along with the flour, I added vanilla powder and the baking powder, and finally the almonds. Because of the ingredients and the roasting the flour, the dough doesn't come together too much very easily, but it's normal. We're just going to shape it by getting some small piece, smaller than walnut size. I can say it's traditionally how it is shaped, and then squeeze it between palm of your hand and gently make it round. If you are still having problem shaping it, you can add extra egg white to it. Just whisk the egg white lightly and then knead the dough again and continue to shape. Another choice would be adding the flour less first and then begin to knead and add gradually until you have that consistency. I used my small ice cream scoop for shaping it, but it really doesn't matter, even it's easier to do it by hand. And I have plenty full of cookies ready to bake in 170 Celsius degree preheated oven for about 20-25 minutes. These almond cookies are especially famous in Aegean region of Turkey, in Çanakkale city as an efi badem, and also in crescent shape as kavala kurabiyesi. The final touch would be, after it is cooled down, to generously dip the cookies in powdered sugar. These almond cookies stay fresh for a long time and it will be ready to enjoy with a glass of Turkish tea or coffee. I also baked these poğaças with dill and white cheese. I shared its recipe long time ago on my channel. I would highly recommend you to try. It's so delicious with the dill mixed dough and the cheese filling. The only difference was from the first time I did, I mix everything including cheese with the dough for an easier version. And I freeze the rest of the poğaças to keep them fresh, so they will be ready whenever I want to enjoy with a coffee or tea. So give it a try, these almond cookies, Turkish version, and let me know how it turned out. I have many other Turkish kurabiye cookie recipes on my channel. You can check them from the links. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in another delicious Turkish food recipes and travel vlogs. Afiyet olsun.